They oppress everybody. We're living on a human farm, and the fear-mongering that these people put out is absolutely ridiculous. I was actually at a retail store I used to work at, and some federal agents were there going over all the books, and they were, pressing their will against the shop owner at a place I used to work. The guy I worked for retired. His son was running the place, and they're just there to remind you that they are the priests of the GOVT, and they're here to scare you to the best of their ability and to oppress you. I won't name that three-letter agency that was there, but they were there. There's three of them. If you treated your children the way that the government treats you and me, they take your kids away from you. It's all about divide and conquer. They want to treat you and me like mushrooms. I don't know if you know how you treat a mushroom to get them to grow, but you feed them poo and you keep them in the dark. Let me repeat that. Treat them like mushrooms. Feed them poo and keep them in the dark. And that's how they treat me, and that's how they treat you. It's designed to keep these priests in power. The one thing that these religions and academia and the school system with all its stratified unions, which union is just you think union is a French word that means socialism. Let me repeat that. The word union. I'm a union member. Unions is a French word. Maybe it's a German word. It means socialism. And that's exactly what it is. Designed to keep these people in power. Designed to tap you and me like a maple tree. Yeah? Canada, they tap the maple trees and they drip out the maple syrup to make the maple syrup with. Tapping us for degrees and taxes and tithings. Most of your property taxes, including mine, goes towards the public education system. Yes, I said education. And it's not an education system at all. They're not educating anybody. They're indoctrinating and brainwashing. They're literally bleaching the creativity out of you and me. They don't educate anybody. But it does perfect. They create someone just smart enough to work an assembly line. He makes just enough money to be bled dry by the IRS and the government, so the government can fearmonger you. What little you have left, you're psychologically oppressed by genuine so-called priests wearing fancy robes that want you to donate the tithe. Like, it's afterlife insurance. Yeah, you have life insurance, and then religion, of course, is afterlife insurance. And then, of course, you got to be fearmongered by the government. Pay your taxes. And, the greatest crime committed on the United States of America is the creation of the IRS. The IRS lives to do one thing. That's to be the footstool of the Federal Reserve, which is not federal at all. It's a private bank. So the one thing that you should learn, which will make you more sovereign, is to extract yourself from all these evil things in life. Learning about fallacies, learning about induction, learning about creative thinking and making it part of your life. Retroduction. Nature is not a travesty. It is simplex and it is divine. But all of these priests that are about one thing, keeping themselves in power, keeping you oppressed, and keeping them in the money, they are designed to keep you down. It's religious priests, academic priests, the priests of science and quantum and relativity. It's all one and the same thing. It's an atomistic priestly class. And then the priestly class of the government. Taxes, the fear-mongering, just keeping you in fear, keeping you tapped. You have just enough money to barely stay alive. But if you make more than that, then you need to hand it over to the government. Yeah. So they want to treat you and me like mushrooms, and they're running a people farm. You can extract yourself greatly from all of this, but you have to have a different toolbox in your head, not one of indoctrination and memorization, but one of true understanding of fallacies, induction, creative thinking, a genuine toolbox, instead of a filing cabinet full of just enough information, to teach you how to drive and work an assembly line, which is all the public education system does, which doesn't educate you at all. You're supposed to have a toolbox in your head, okay? Not a filing cabinet. When this happens, you do X. When that happens, you're supposed to believe that. That's what the public school system does. It's about brainwashing people, putting a filing cabinet inside your head rather than a toolbox. And that's what a real education is, a toolbox. You know, you got like about a half a dozen tools in there, you know, hammers and pliers and screwdrivers, so you can discern things. You can see through nonsense. You can see that these priests are like the emperor with no clothes.